Warren Buffett just said, do not buy a house right now. Bold, right? If you are like most families thinking of upsizing, this probably hits home. And I'm sure you're doing everything right. But now you are hearing the greatest investor alive waving the red flag.
Well, in respect to real estate, it's so much harder than stocks.
And yep, that was Mr. Warren Buffett. Back in 2012, he could, at that point, he will buy hundreds of thousands of single family homes in the United States because at that point, real estate made a lot of sense and they all were on very low interest rates. But in today's market, he is more cautious to the point that he even sounding kind of negative, in my opinion. But I don't think that you should consider buying a house as a negative thing, especially in your plan of life. I'm going to tell you why. Warren is not against home ownership. He's only saying that he is against bad timing and overpaying for a house, which I 100% agree. Bad timing and overpaying are two things that you should always keep in mind. In the last couple of years, many home buyers rushed into the idea of buying a house just to buy a house without doing the proper math. Now, after they just moved in, they're now understanding that it wasn't only the mortgage, the thing they were responsible, but the HOA have gone up, condo fees have gone up, the cost of living, utilities have gone up, the maintenance have also gone up. And this is all when it comes to the combining bad prices or high prices with high interest rates. This creates a lot of pressure in the market. And that's why a lot of people are finding right now in a lot of trouble. Many people on different social media channels are actually complaining how hard it's to live in America. Not only how hard it is, but with their minimum salaries and wages to some families or individuals, that is very complicated to even buy a house. Some people cannot even afford rent. Nevertheless, they will be able to buy a house. Just listen to this guy.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough.
So after hearing this guy just basically just complain, he's right. It's very expensive. Can you ever even afford to buy a house? Is Warren Buffett right with his statements? I'm just supporting and giving you more data. Let me just give you an example. Buying a house at $800,000 with a 7% interest rate, the payments can be probably, in the over $4,000. Yeah, some people won't be able to buy a house, or maybe they need to get a rent a portion of the house. Like here in Maryland, in Montgomery County, homes have basement, so you may need to rent your basement if you want to buy a house like this. One of the things Warren says that you have to really take into consideration very seriously is just because you can qualify to buy a house doesn't mean it is wise to stretch. And this is what I want you to really pay attention. You got to start thinking like an investor, not as a follower. What I mean by that,
What do you mean?
Mr. Warren Buffett is not worried about the headlines or the interest rates or the treasury. This is more about values versus emotions. Yep, you got it right. This is an emotional thing. And when the emotions come first, then the value, then does it really make sense? You may even want to ask this question yourself. Would I buy a house in the near future knowing that home prices will drop 10% in the next year? Would you buy a house? Let's be honest. Answer that question to yourself right now. Let me know here in the comments. Would you do that? Would you repeat the mistake that many people did back in the early 2000s when they bought homes, when they knew that we were reaching the peak of the market, especially around 2006, 7, of course, 2008? And again, I'm not saying this because I sell real estate. I help people buy and sell real estate, but the reality is I also make them understand where they're getting into it. Before we even write an offer, we ask a lender to work out the different numbers. Does it make sense at a 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% down? Whatever your circumstances, should you be doing something that is more like a 10-year fix and an arm, a 30-year fix? I mean, we have to look, explore, at everything. So that way you can at least can say, well, Robert and my loan officer exhausted at least 4 or 5 different options in which now I understand what I'm getting into it. Let's sign on the dotted line. People like you, families like you, individuals like you need flexibility, not stress. Let me repeat it. You guys need flexibility, not stress. It looks like Mr. Warren Buffett is right. What you can do instead, let me give you a couple options here. Wait and prepare. Yep, you heard right. Wait and prepare. How many realtors are telling you to wait? They're all telling you buy now. Nope, wait and prepare. Use this time to strengthen your position by boosting savings, cutting expenses, unnecessary expenses, look into creative financing. Find ways that maybe there are some programs that you can tap into it to buy your house. Maybe if you already own a house and you're moving into something bigger, does it make sense to keep the current house, especially if you have a low interest rate, rent it out and then use that cash flow to help you subsidize some of the monthly payment on your newer, bigger home? Or is it better to sell the property? Buy smart, not big. What I mean by that,
Me?
focus on the value, not the size. A well located, a smaller home can actually outperform a bigger house that is not convenient to you. For example, if you're familiar with Montgomery County, let's say you work in Washington, D.C., maybe it's better off for you to buy a townhouse in Montgomery County that it is within close proximity to your job versus moving further out, maybe into Frederick County, parts of Frederick County, where you can get a bigger house, but then you have to commute more. You have to spend more time driving, gasoline, time, food, tires, oil, car maintenance, you name it, right? Makes sense. Talk to real estate professionals or experts. And by that, I mean a good real estate agent as well as a good loan officer. Maybe even consult it with your financial advisor if you have one. Sometimes getting in on off market deals is not a bad thing, meaning you are not going to be competing. And some good listing agents may have some inventory that would be the seller be willing to sell it off the market. Take into consideration that you probably will have a house that is fully updated with all the shiny stuff and the brand new appliances, but you can build that down the road. It's a longer way to make going to be your forever home or your dream home, but there is an option. And here's the one question that you need to ask yourself. Will this home still feel like a blessing if your financial situation changes? Don't let short term pressure turn into long term regret. Many people that live right now in their homes they purchased even recently within 2 years hate their homes or their neighborhood. Mr. Buffett's warning is not to scare you, but it is to empower you. And that is what I wanted to leave you today is I want to empower you to start thinking about a lot of these things that we talk in this video, because at some point you're going to have to make the move. And when you make the move, I want you to be empowered. Think of me like a free coach when you come to these videos. Seriously. And lastly is if you're really thinking about upsizing, buying a bigger home for you and your family, you want to do it like a Warren Buffett, strategically, patient, and prepare. Drop me a comment here in the chat right here with the word upsize, and I will send you a roadmap on how you can upsize to your future home. Or if this is your first time buying a house, I'll send you a completed map of and a strategy how you can get to your first home, maybe in 2025, maybe in 2026. Remember, be patient, right? You don't have to rush to make this decision. And that's it, everybody. This is Robert Garcia, and I'm here to help you navigate this crazy, unpredictable real estate market, especially in 2025, where things are not going the way some people wanted it. But that's it. I mean, that's why you want to listen to professionals and ask questions when you don't know where you're heading to. If you find this type of content valuable, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share if you want to, and I promise I'll bring new content every week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.